Investments, cultivating opportunities with the Western Foundation and WWU. We are your CSPS research team. My name is Brittany.
My name is Ari, and I'm Maddie.
Thank you for joining us today.
So we started with a simple vision over the past couple months to identify barriers and only the best opportunities for the university and the foundation to carry forward sustainable investments. So you might know, as environmentalists, we're known for Birkenstocks and granola. And yes, we eat granola, but we can also dress up and wear nice dress shoes and talk about investments now. This is the new generation of environmentalists. Western has a long history as the first college of the environment and also a campus community that wants to do good for the world. Now, I have a phrase and I'd like you to do an interaction with me. You may have heard this from a business teacher or your parents as a child. This is a phrase, follow the money. Great. There are institutions across the world that are doing just that logic. They are following the money and assessing their endowments for things like sustainable investments and risky assets. So in 2012, this conversation started on our campus with Students for Renewable Energy and divestment. Well, we're not here to talk about divestment today. We're going to talk about other viable options for the university and the foundation to carry forward. So we did this through a number of means. With our vision at the core of the work that we were doing, we engaged with conversations with students, stakeholders, and from that pursued case studies and talked with universities across the country, talked to subject area experts on our campus and off, and also followed the sustainability tracking and rating system curated by the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education, ASHE. From that, we created a framework and cultivated strong relationships with our stakeholders and the campus community, aggregated the data that we found, and produced the following 3 opportunities.
These are the 3 elements we want to advocate to pursue our vision. It includes sustainable investing, implementation into curriculum, and disclosure of funds.
Sustainable investing. Sustainable finance is about creating the economic and social value through financial models with a long-term impact. It is all about making money, yes, that is the bottom line, but also taking into consideration the environment, society, people, and the economy as a whole. So why is this important? I'm going to tie this to a business case. Traditional finance does leave out externalities. The impacts that people and businesses are making on the planet and society don't always show up on a balance sheet. We all know what's going on around the planet. The stresses around climate, water, food security. All these stresses are going to put a force on the market to make investments in a more sustainable mindset. Sustainable finance takes this into consideration. And not only does it take it into consideration, but it also shows different opportunities to make more money, to be attracting new investments, and to have a higher impact overall. So the best way to maximize your return is through sustainable investing. There is no trade-off. The Western Washington Endowment and Foundation trustees should be aware of these market trends. But don't take my word for it. I'm not just some Western environmental student, some hippie kid, some granola eating kid making this argument. There's actually a trend in the market, and I'd like to show you right now. So here we have the Dow Jones Sustainability Index compared to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And you can see that the Dow Jones Index over the past 12 years has not been doing so hot as the Dow Jones Sustainability Index. In fact, the Dow Jones Sustainability Index outperformed the Dow coming out of the dot-com boom of 2001 and through the recovery when the financial crisis hit in 2008, which is right around here. Yes, the recovery was slow, and you can see that it was pretty gradual, but overall the Dow Jones Sustainability Index did outperform the Dow Jones and still holds true today. So here I have a study from Common Fund, which is our financial management firm for our Western Endowment, and they surveyed 200 institutions, public and private, on how they were handling sustainable investing and different methods for that. And I have a quote here from William Jarvis, the managing director of the Common Fund Institute, saying that with ESG, you do not have to give up any returns. It is all about inclusiveness, about finding the best in-class companies that can be completely aligned with your traditional portfolio. And studies seem to show that the performance can be better or even the same. And here we have a list of universities. Some of you may recognize these universities. and they have actually done sustainable investing and adapted pretty well to the transition for their portfolios. And one university I'd like to highlight, which is our leading example, is Vermont's Middlebury University. And they began their sustainable investment initiative in 2010. And they started their endowment with an $8 million investment in sustainable investing through ESG. And over just 4 years, they've increased that productivity to $50 million for their return. So here I have a quote from Patrick Norton, the Vice President of Finance at Middlebury University, saying that they're not just filling a bucket full of sustainable investments and letting the chips fall where they may. All of these investments go through strict due diligence because they have to be high-quality companies. They didn't want to sacrifice returns. But William Jarvis states that the concerns on returns and lack of reliable guidance are the main reasons that institutions hesitate on these kind of investments. So we are proposing today to continue the dialogue with Common Fund around sustainable finance and its fiduciary responsibilities to the university. Our second proposal is to have a small percentage of the endowment, say like 5%, go into a climate-friendly fund and have this pilot project last for a minimum of 2 years. Our third proposal is to create a committee on investor responsibility to have this transition and progress of a sustainable portfolio for Western Washington University be highly managed by students as well as the administration.
So we've mentioned the word campus community and the Western community, students, staff, faculty, administration, so far in this presentation, and that really comes down to the reason that we're here, which are students are in class to get degrees and to go out and be prepared to make the change or be the change. And that comes down to curriculum. So in every conversation that we had with folks on campus, it came down to what are we doing with students? How are they engaged? How are they learning from this experience? And that really boils down to curriculum. This is a unique portion for us because in the investments chapter of STARS, curriculum is not one of those incorporated pieces. And I found that through our conversations, it was special that that was always brought up of how are we engaging with the students. So we identified 3 viable options to talk with or move forward with. The first is in a student-managed investment fund, which is modeled after the current fund managed by students within the College of Business and Economics, CBE. The second are a series of sustainable finance courses available to students who are progressing through CBE majors, and potentially an option, perhaps a 101 class for students that are not pursuing a CBE major. The third are student case competitions in sustainable investments, which we estimate would need the support of $15,000 per year to continue.
Disclosure. Disclosure is transparency of the funds. And transparency serves as an accountability mechanism and a way to monitor and review investment performance, and also serves as an educational experience for students and stakeholders alike. So today I want to present to you 2 peer institution examples that we have examined over the quarter. And the first is Eastern Illinois University that presents a table graph of their endowment funds investment report. And the next slide is Humboldt State University, and they present a pie chart with their market value assets and the percent return on these assets. We understand the complexity behind disclosure, but we're not the only institution that faces this challenge. But that being said, this gives us an opportunity to be a leader in transparency. Because the foundation is not communicating, it gives the wrong impression. But we know that the foundation is doing really great things. They support student scholarships and sponsor faculty activities. Transparency is an opportunity to do more good by showing their investment profiles and the return on those profiles. So forward thinking. We wanted to reiterate the 3 elements of opportunity we have found is key to manifest this vision. There's a lot of emotion behind sustainable investing, but values aside, sustainable investing provides more money and makes us do better for this world. Curriculum, disclosure, and sustainable investments can help the foundation to help us, the students and faculty of Western Washington University, do more good. Let's do more good together. Thank you.